Hi, my name is Keith and I'm known as a Florida Stone Man, and today I'm going to be talking to you about the three most helpful crystals in combination. This is kind of a strange video because I originally designed it as the most helpful crystal, but I really figure that when you combine these three crystals together, then what you're doing is you're actually amplifying the crystals' powers together so you guys don't get confused and etc. So let's talk about the most helpful crystal ever. If you've been on my live, I talk about black tourmaline and how powerful it is all the time and very often. So basically, black tourmaline is the strongest crystal for being helpful. Why is that? It's because any of the problems that you guys have been facing, black tourmaline is a crystal to normally whack that out of the park. So black tourmaline is really powerful for getting rid of blockages. So I have people who always ask on the live or ask questions in YouTube comments, and they're like, okay, I'm stuck, I'm in a rut, what do I do? I'm like, black tourmaline's the best one for you. People are like, oh, okay. And they'll be like, okay, I went to TJ Maxx and I got black tourmaline as a necklace, or I went to the dollar store and I got some black tourmaline bracelet and it didn't work. I'm like, okay, yeah. I mean, if you were on the last live, you know what I'm talking about. It's just, okay, if you want to get a glass, if you want to get glass and call it a crystal, that's not going to work. Actual crystals do real things. Glass is glass. It has energy because it's glass, but it has a placebo effect. And we're not after the placebo effect. We're real spiritual people making real spiritual changes. And this, even on a physical scale, is enormously powerful. This is strong enough to block EMF. Electromagnetic frequency from your phone, from the computer, from your radios, everywhere. It's enough to stop something that's killing you from technology. So when someone's doing something like killing chickens on you or killing whatever on you, it doesn't really matter. You have black tourmaline, they have to break the black tourmaline to get through. So that's the worst case scenario. Is like, oh, someone's actually attacking you. Maybe you have people who are literally like stalking you and stuff like that. Black tourmaline and tigerite is good for getting rid of stalkers as a combination. Yeah, it really works like that. They stop stalking you. They just go missing. I mean, go missing as in they just vanish. They go ghost. They find their blessing somewhere else. Thank God. But black tourmaline is the king of gemstones when it comes to protection. It's the most helpful gemstone because if you do not have any other crystals, I would start with black tourmaline, but just know that you have to cleanse and charge it every single day. Make sure you're getting real black tourmaline, and I'm going to talk about this right now. Black tourmaline as a crystal bracelet and black tourmaline as a crystal necklace is completely different. You can survive without a hand, you can survive without a wrist, you can't survive without a neck. You can't survive without your head. The crown chakra the crown controls the rest of the body. The crown chakra is, you can't survive without it. You're lost without a head. If your crown chakra is off, if it's off, you're going to feel lost in the world. Same thing applies. Your main spirit, your main angel and angelic guide, hopefully it's one of the two, but your main spirit resonates on your crown chakra. Your main angel sits on your crown chakra. Now, getting into this video, why is this crystal so helpful? Because if you're ungrounded, it's going to help you. People like, oh, I got Moldavite and I saw all this different change. I'm like, if you get black tourmaline, it's enough to prompt a spiritual awakening. You're going to start seeing things around you. And so family members, if I really care about a family member and I want to continue basically seeing the family member do well, they get black tourmaline from me. It's a must. If I care about someone, they're getting black tourmaline. Why is that? Because black tourmaline protects you from some of the darkest and worst black magic. Not even just black magic. So if you don't have it, most of you don't really have people doing black magic on you like that, so you don't really have to worry. If you live in a place with like a bunch of spiritual people and the people are dumb enough to be trying stuff like, oh, yeah, let's kill the chicken today and see what happens. Yeah, those people, the people who send it, when they're sending curses and hexes to really good people, they're the people who are getting really hurt. Yeah. You can ask anyone who's a generally good person and getting hit by curses, or like, there's inconveniences all the time, but the people sending the curses are always getting hit the worst, and they don't even recognize it, so they keep throwing it because they think that the person's throwing curses too, and they're actually just defeating themselves, which is just wild on its own. If you want to focus on attracting blessings, don't do curses. If you do curses, this YouTube video and this entire YouTube channel is not for you. I teach everything from the light, and just because it's light doesn't mean it's soft and it's squishy. No. The light blinds. It keeps predators away. So this whole YouTube channel is about keeping teaching you guys and armoring you guys how to keep the worst of people away. And black tourmaline's one that crystal. If you have someone who in the workplace who's bothering you all the time and they do not leave you alone, and maybe they're going behind your back, they're doing whatever. Black tourmaline's the best of the best crystal for that, because people who are bothering you, people sending you negative energy, even people with a smile on their face who are being very dark behind your back, those people drop off like flies. People vacuuming your energy. Some people make it their life mission just to vacuum energy. I don't know why people do that. People think it's cool to be energy vampires. There's some people in the spiritual community who will just flat out be an energy vampire because they're like, oh, I'm taking energy. But yeah, it's a mosquito. You just kill the mosquito. Doesn't take too much. Black tourmaline's a mosquito killer. It's an EMF killer. It blocks electromagnetic frequency. It blocks people sucking your energy. It blocks... even because some people might have them really nice, low-energy people just walking up to them and you're like, ugh, just stop. I mean, there are some people in the gym that I have to set boundaries. I bring extra tourmalines. Yeah, I do bring extra tourmalines sometimes for certain people because certain people are very nice, but the energy around them is so dark. They're like, oh, you got crystals. Oh, those things are evil. And I'm like, you should try them. And they're like, no, I tried a crystal once and it burned me. And I'm like, okay, I'm not really here to put up with that. But I'm very tunnel visioned when it comes to my workouts. I like to work out and then, yeah, I don't like people to vacuum energy, or when your light shines bright, sometimes it attracts just general flies, like people who are just really bad in energy, and it's not their fault, but black tourmaline keeps that away. If you have general annoyances, if you have, keep black tourmaline in the car, it really prevents a bunch of car problems because entities can't really do much. It's literally a force field. People are like, why does black tourmaline really make dark entities not happy? Why is it? Because there's some spiritual properties in the black tourmaline that don't let them get through. It could be the way, because I haven't really analyzed that. I believe it's the way it grows and how it's like basically a wall. It's just like a shearing wall. It's like, it's the energy in the stone as well. Black tourmaline holds a bunch of secrets, especially black tourmaline with mica. If you're getting the raw pieces, like this piece has a piece of mica which is reflective, so actually it sends back negative energy as well. You can't even see the reflection in the camera. Boo. It's a little tiny piece. It's not too often you get one with a giant piece of mica, but that's alright. I did say I'd mention other crystals in this video. So black tourmaline and clear quartz. Why this combination is because anything clear quartz is next to is going to greatly enhance and just blast the power of black tourmaline. So if black tourmaline is doing 100... let's use a good example. If black tourmaline is putting off 10 points of energy to protect you from dark entity, you put it next to clear quartz, now it's putting off 30 points. It's like, woo, wow, okay, wow. That's why on my website I have a black tourmaline necklace. It's because it's black tourmaline and clear quartz. It's very discreet in the way it looks. It's a very normal looking necklace. It's not overly flashy, but it does the most. Some signs that your black tourmaline's overwhelmed is that your black tourmaline will feel searing hot. The stones that you get from me on my website won't be breaking because they're not the kind of stones to break unless you're not cleansing and charging them, which is just irresponsible. How do you cleanse black tourmaline? Well, the first week when you get it, you should put it in the sunlight because the sunlight is very, very powerful. It has just a massive element of just sheer light and just fire and brimstone upon any dark energy that the black tourmaline has absorbed, because keep in mind, it does absorb. Black tourmaline does have a few facets and aspects to it. So it has an absorbing side and it has a projecting side. So it has a receptive side for just literally shooting fire of just like the EMF blocks the projective side blocks enemy missile fire, electric magnetic frequency, and it stops it from getting you. But now what happens when you have black tourmaline on the other side? And this is why you got to keep it cleansed and charged all the time, is because if something does get to you, it's not going to get to you. Because what happens when something gets past the black tourmaline? It actually goes into the tourmaline. The energy, it has two facets in why it's so strong. It has a force field element, and then it has a element as to where the black tourmaline is literally absorbing stuff out of you that you've already absorbed. And anything that you might have absorbed anyway, it's sucking out of you. It's literally vacuuming out of you like a sponge. I've had situations, and I should put black tourmaline in this necklace because this necklace is always popping around. I've helped some. I can't say full stories, but I've known people who have gotten black tourmaline from me before, and this is actually one of the ways I've learned that this black tourmaline is the most powerful as a necklace. Is a certain person, and it's really tough to explain this story on camera. A certain person had like a phantom homeless person just walk up to them, and then so the homeless person, no one else saw it. I guess he's the only person who saw it, and the homeless person literally just walked up as close as he could to him and coughed as hard as he could into his face, and then boom, the homeless person was not even there. It was not even gone. It probably was some heavy black magic. I don't know. I mean, I know they call them zombies in Haiti. Like, I mean, there's just different things that people talk about where like no one's seen that. I mean, it's an apparition that only the person who is receiving the attack saw. He wasn't cleansing and charging his black tourmaline bracelet that he got from me, so he was barely using it. And then he finally, when he was at home, he went home and he was really like, he was not doing well. His basically everything was collapsing, everything was crumbling. I can't really say too many details on the story, but let's just say the spiritual attack sent to him, it was really bad. If you can put the pieces together, it was really bad. And he took the black tourmaline off and he put it over his chest, and he felt amazing again. His luck, basically everything, all his luck came back. He felt way better. He was able to do normal things again. Like I said, this is a spiritual channel. I'm teaching about spiritual powers and what spirituality does. This man had a spiritual attack. It undid the spiritual attack. Yeah, if you want to ask more questions about this story, then ask me ask me on Instagram or something, or ask me somewhere else, because this is a very the story is almost, I mean, I don't like resurrecting too much energy from stories or hauntings when talking about them, so I speak about them very vaguely and carefully, so I make sure I don't resurrect that energy at all, but not even on his behalf. But just know that black tourmaline, if you do absorb something, black tourmaline will vacuum it out of you and release it. You can use sunlight, but black tourmaline is the most helpful. Now I said 3 crystals. Selenite next to your black tourmaline, next to your clear quartz, is extremely helpful for helping you dissolve blockages. Why is that? Because selenite's constantly cleansing and charging it. What happens if you wear selenite next to the black tourmaline as jewelry? Is selenite cleansing and charging it? Because I do have people who've gotten black tourmaline and selenite necklaces from me. Is the black tourmaline constantly getting cleansed and charged by the selenite? Yes and no. The selenite's actually doing different work to open up your higher crown chakras and open spiritual gifts, as the black tourmaline really does unblocking mechanisms. So the selenite's more focused on cleansing and charging you than it is the black tourmaline. So it's a very powerful function together. So and I have true selenite as well. I have satin spar selenite and then true selenite. They're both good. But black tourmaline goes wildfire on negative energy. It's the most helpful stone. It's the most important stone for me. I mean, people just generally take my advice and they're like, okay, he said black tourmaline. And they're like, oh, cool, black tourmaline. And they don't really get it or do anything, and then they don't see any results because they didn't get the black tourmaline. As soon as you get black tourmaline, especially for me, I'm not going to recommend black tourmaline from anywhere else because I don't back anywhere else like that. The black tourmaline on my website comes from Minas Gerais, Brazil. It's extremely powerful. As soon as you get it, as soon as you purchase the black tourmaline necklace, your entire life begins to change. Everything starts changing. I mean, originally here's what happens when people get black tourmaline necklaces from me, and I have a whole review section page where you just see all these people's different experience about all these people were under heavy effects of black magic, and it fully broke. Real people from real places getting real crystals from the Florida Stone Man. So black tourmaline shatters curses. It breaks the worst ties of negative energy. I mean, people have an evil eye charm, but if you're able to get black tourmaline, it's 100 billion times powerful than the evil eye charm. It's so much more strong. You can use black tourmaline to send back negative energy. You just put agrimony oil on the actual stone as you wear it, and it sends it back, and it absorbs anything that's supposed to be getting to you. So what happens when people normally get black tourmaline? Things start going crazy because the entities know what it does, and they really flip out, so they try to lash. Some people have scratches, some people will just have crazy stuff happening at their job. Just everything goes haywire. Like, you'll get cut, and that person will get cut off from everyone. Everything is going to stop the person from getting black tourmaline. Some people actually never get black tourmaline because of how many dark entities they have around them. If you've been trying to get black tourmaline for a very long time, but you notice something happens every single time you try to get it, it means you're being suppressed, and the entity around you will do everything in its power to make sure you don't get the black tourmaline so you don't succeed. Now, let's talk about this. Once you do get the black tourmaline, you feel an immediate sense of relief, followed by a bunch of really, really strange feelings in your body. So you'll start feeling really hot, really uncomfortable for a few days, and then the feeling just fades after you properly cleanse and charge the black tourmaline. What was that? It's a bunch of hate and negative energy that you have absorbed, and now it's gone. And it's really cool, because once the negative energy, once the hate is all gone, once the evil eye, once curses and hexes, you have other gifts that start opening because your angelic guides, they're like, okay, this person, they can open their spiritual gifts now because they're more protected. If they were to open their spiritual gifts before, then they would have come across a lot of negative effects, such as seeing shadows all over their room, which, I mean, that does happen. When you open spiritual gifts, you're going to see, I mean, depends. People are like, oh, I opened my third eye, or like, I opened my third eye and I didn't see everything. Or some people are like, I opened my third eye and I didn't see shadows and spirits. I'm like, some people are like, I'm afraid to open my third eye because I don't want to see ghosts. That's not how it works. It has to be in your natural gift set, or it has to be exercised. Black tourmaline will really keep away those shadow people. The dark really just... If you're just random shadows running around, and sometimes I'll go in public and I'll just see a shadow circling someone, I'm like, okay. And I don't focus on it because people who look at entities will pick up entities. That's how it works. For people who... that's why I say you stare into the abyss, it stares back at you. You're going to pick up entities if you look at people. If you look at someone in a really dark situation and you focus on it, an atom, just by being observed, reacts. Same thing happens. Now, this is a very straightforward video. I have black tourmaline as a necklace on my website. It's $777, and it'll bring the most changes in your entire life. It's the most effective way I've been able to help people in general. It's created giant changes in people's lives. It's just... It really made me change my knowledge on protective crystals, because, yeah, you're like, okay, I got I got obsidian over here, I got jet over here, I got red jasper over here, I got onyx over there, I got bloodstone over there, I got Himalayan sea salt. The black tourmaline tanks all the other crystals when it comes to its protective qualities. It doesn't really compare. If you're only to go with one protective crystal, black tourmaline. Like, the last person who's gotten black tourmaline for me, who's a family member, like, I don't want to say who the family member is. They've never really smiled much, and they've always been under stress and pressure. That family member smiles all the time now. Just making sure I'm careful in saying what I'm saying on the YouTube video, because I don't know if the family member will watch this video and be like, you called me out. I do call people out on YouTube videos, but not out of... I only do it out of love, and I'm like, okay, this person's helped. Next person to help. So if you have any questions, ask them in the comment section. Until then, I'll see you guys next time. Ciao!